Northwest Registered Agent is one of the easiest and most affordable ways to form an LLC in 2026. I'll walk you through it step by step and show you how it stacks up against other popular LLC formation services. If you want to follow along, I've linked everything you need in the description below. First, you'll choose the state where you want to form your LLC. For most people, that will be the state where you currently live. That being said, there are situations where it makes sense to form your LLC in another state like Wyoming or Delaware. If you're unsure, watch the video below that breaks down the best state to choose based on your situation. I'll select Florida and click Get Started. Next, you'll choose the type of entity you want to form. You have the option to create an LLC, corporation, or a nonprofit corporation. If you want to form an S-Corp, select LLC here, and I'll show you later on in the video how to file an additional form to have your LLC taxed as an S-Corp. Here you'll see the state filing fee. For Florida, it's $125. State fees vary quite a bit, anywhere from $35 in Montana to $500 in Massachusetts. Northwest passes on whatever the state charges. With other services, some will tack on an extra $10 or $20, and it's not clear what that's actually for. If you ever have questions about the fees or anything else in the process, you can call Northwest or use the contact form on this part of their site. It's what I do whenever I have a question, and I'm typically connected with a real person who can answer my question in a matter of minutes. Northwest prides itself on its customer service. You can learn more about their values on their manifesto page. Right below the state filing fee, you'll see the processing time, which varies by state. Florida is 10 business days, Texas is 2 days, California 3 days with standard processing, or you can pay for expedited processing by paying an additional $350. New York's a day, and Michigan, where I'm from, is 10 days for standard processing or for an extra $50 next day processing. Northwest probably has the fastest standard LLC processing. Let's compare to LegalZoom. They'll process your Florida LLC documents in 5 to 14 business days. Then they send the documents to the Florida Secretary of State, which will be another 10 days, for a total of up to 24 days to form your LLC, or you can pay $99 for rush processing. Zen Business takes 7 to 10 days to process, plus the 10 days with the Secretary of State, for a total of 17 to 20 days. Finally, Busy Standard Processing is 3 weeks in Florida with their $299 premium package, 11 days, or you can pay an additional $50 for expedited processing with their other 2 packages. So if price and speed are important to you, Northwest is the right choice. You'll see along the right, Northwest charges $39 to form your LLC. This includes an operating agreement and their registered agent service for the first year. This will renew at $125 per year starting in year 2. We'll go through a full price comparison of Northwest versus the 3 other formation services that I just mentioned at the end of this video. At the bottom of each page, there's a good to know section that answers a few common questions that you might have. We've covered the state fee. The renewal filing service is important. Most states require you to file an annual or biennial report updating them about your business. You don't want to miss the state's deadline and incur an additional fee. Northwest will do this for you. They charge $100 plus the state fee each time they file on your behalf. This service is automatically added when you form your LLC with Northwest, but you can easily turn it off if you'd like to file the annual report on your own. On the next screen, you'll enter the name you'd like to use for your business. If you're not sure whether the name is already in use, there's a link below listing all 50 states' business name search tools, so you can check availability. Northwest will do a name check before filing, and they'll let you know if there are any issues with the name that you chose. Next, you'll add a business purpose, something like AI automation consulting, or as you can see here, most states will allow you to use a generic business purpose. Here you enter your contact information, name, phone number, and address. This is used by Northwest. You'll see a question asking whether you have a lawyer who should receive copies of legal notices. If yes, enter their email. If not, just leave it as no. Don't worry, hiring a lawyer isn't a requirement when starting a business. After that, you'll choose the physical address and mailing address that will be recorded by the state. These addresses are public, so especially if you're working from home, I recommend making both of these the registered agent's address instead of using your home address. In the Good to Know section, Northwest explains why they recommend using their address. Now we'll decide how the LLC will be managed. Your options are member managed or manager managed. For more info, you can always click on the question icon that you see here. Basically, this is asking whether the LLC owners will make the day-to-day decisions or if a manager will be appointed to run the business for you. For some states, you'll also see an option to list or omit the members or managers from the state. Most states require you to list them, but some states like Wyoming or New Mexico allow you to keep your ownership in the LLC private. Florida requires you to list at least one manager or managing member in your annual report, so it's not really worth it keeping your ownership private just for the first year. As you see here, if you don't list your name on the formation documents, it can be more difficult, though not impossible, to do things like open a business bank account. I'm going to choose to list ownership with the state. I'll enter my information as member 1, and again, to keep my address private, I'll use the registered agent's address instead of mine. If there are multiple owners of the LLC, you can add additional members by clicking Add Member and entering their information. Next, you'll see optional add-ons. I like that Northwest allows you to add them individually. Some competitors make you choose a more expensive package when maybe you just want one additional item. You can have Northwest obtain your employer identification number, EIN, for $50. You can absolutely do this on your own for free by visiting the IRS's website. We have a video below that'll walk you through step by step. If you don't want to worry about it and want everything handled for you, the $50 might be worth it. So this brings us to what I mentioned earlier. If you want your LLC to be taxed as an S-Corp, for an additional $100, Northwest will file Form 2553 to elect S-Corp taxation for your LLC. This will add some additional costs for your business, but can help you save money on taxes. Usually, it only makes sense once you're earning $50,000 to $100,000 of profit per year. You may want to add premium mail forwarding for $20 per month or a virtual office for $29 per month. The virtual office includes a phone number. With Northwest, you can have a handful of documents per month sent to your registered agent's address, but I normally recommend adding a virtual mailbox with them or another service, especially if you're working from home and never want that address to show up on the internet. Northwest has solid pricing, but they don't have virtual mailboxes in all 50 states. If you don't find it in your state, you could check with Business Anywhere or Anytime Mailbox. I wouldn't worry about trademark filing. If you plan to use the name of your business as your brand name, you don't need a DBA, which stands for doing business as. But if for some reason you have an LLC name that is different from the name you want to use publicly, you'll want one of these. For example, if my LLC is called Acme LLC, but I use my name JJ Thalen on my website for invoices, etc., I would want a DBA. This will allow me to use my name instead of the LLC name. If you've added everything you want, click Continue. When creating an LLC, I recommend getting a registered agent, an operating agreement, and an EIN. By using Northwest to form your Florida LLC, it's $214 for the first year, $125 for the state fee, $39 for Northwest fee, and $50 for the EIN. The operating agreement is included for free. Getting the same services with LegalZoom will cost $563. The $314 that you see here, I'm not sure why the state filing fee is $155 instead of $125. And what's not shown here is $249 for their registered agent service. With Zen Business, you'll pay $522. It's a little bit confusing on this page because you're paying $224 up front. Then you pay for the registered agent and an EIN after the LLC has been formed a couple days later. With Busy, you'll pay just a few dollars more at $224. But remember, you'll have to wait an additional 10 days to get your LLC if you don't pay another $50 for their expedited processing. Northwest's customer service is great if you have any questions. The price is less than their competitors, and you get your LLC formed quickly without having to pay an extra fee. All that's left is to create your Northwest account by entering your email and creating a password. Then enter your payment information and click on Submit Order. If you're having Northwest get your EIN, they'll ask you to fill in some additional information after this screen. In a few days, you'll get this email confirming that your LLC has been successfully created. If you found this video helpful and you want to support our channel, use the affiliate link below when creating your LLC. We could earn a commission at no cost to you. Now that you have your LLC, there are some very important next steps that you should take. Make sure to check out this video where I explain setting up your business bank account, business email, website, and more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.